Hello friends, welcome back to Nanashe Academy. Today we are going to learn an English poem, The Last Bargain, written by Rabindranath Tagore. Here we study explanation, literary device, summary, questions and answers. First we learn about Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore was a Bengali polymath, poet, writer, playwright, composer, philosopher, social reformer and painter. Author of the profoundly sensitive, fresh, and beautiful poetry of Gitanjali, he became in 1913 the first non-European to win the Nobel Prize in Literature. The first stanza of the poem is, "Come and hire me, I cried while in the morning I was walking on the stone-paved road. Sword in hand, the king came in his chariot. He held my hand and said, I will hire you with my power. But his power counted for naught, and he went away in his chariot." In this stanza, underline words meaning stone paved road means stony path, chariot means a four-wheel carries, naught means considered worthless. Now the second stanza of the poem is, in the heat of the midday, the houses stood with shut doors. I wandered along the crooked lane. An old man came out with his bag of gold. He pondered and said, I will hire you with my money. He waved his coin one by one, but I turned away. In this stanza, crooked means not straight, pondered means thought over. Now the third stanza. It was evening. The garden was all aflower. The fair maid came out and said, I will hire you with a smile. Her smile paled and melted into tears, and she went back alone into the dark. In this stanza, has means a fence of bushes, maid means spinster. Now the fourth and last stanza of the poem is, the sun glistened on the sand, and the sea wave broke waywardly. A child sat playing with shells. He raised his head and seemed to know me and said, I hire you with nothing. From henceforward the bargain struck in child play made me a free man. In this stanza, glistened means childishly shining. Waywardly means from this time onward. Henceforward means from now on, in the future. Bargain means to make an agreement. Now the difficult words and phrases. Stone means stony path. Chariot means a four-wheel carries. Not means considered worthless. Crooked means not straight. Pondered means thought over. Has means a fence of bushes. Maid means spinster. Glistened means childishly shining. Waywardly means from this time onward. Henceforward means from now on in the future. Bargain means to make an agreement. Now the explanation of the first stanza. The poem opens with a man crying in the morning to be hired by someone. Come and hire me, while he was walking on a stone-paved road looking for someone to hire his service. He came across the king who was coming in his chariot. The king immediately took the man's hand in his hand and offered to buy his services with his power. The man, however, did not find much worth in his offer. He did not want to get suppressed by a mighty man's power and therefore moved on. Now the explanation of the second stanza. The man kept walking. It was almost midday and it was quite a hot day. He only came across houses with doors that were shut. Wandering along the crooked lane, he soon came across an old man who was holding a bag of gold. The old man offered to pay the man with his gold in return of his services. The offer of wealth did not lure the man, so he turned away. Now the explanation of the third stanza. Now the evening had set in, yet the man was unable to find a person whose offer would attract him. He came across a garden full of beautiful flowers. He came across a beautiful maid standing there. The lady offered to hire the man with her smile. The man realized that her beauty or smile was also not forever. Her smile faded away and tears replaced it. The man moved on, leaving the lady all by herself. Now the explanation of the fourth stanza. Finally the man reached the seashore. The sun was almost setting down. It shone brightly on the sand. He saw a child playing with shells. The child looked up at the man. It seemed as if the child understood the man. The child offered to hire the services of the man. The child offered to hire the services of the man but did not offer to pay anything in return. That was the bargain that perhaps the man was looking for. There were no demand, no conditions, no payment or repayments. In playing with the child, he continued to hold on to his freedom. He was a free man now. Now the poetic device used in this poem. In the first stanza, the first poetic device is enjambment. While in the morning I was walking, in the first line there is enjambment. Second is alliteration. H, he held my hand. W was walking. King came in his chariot. Third is repetition. In this stanza, power, hire and chariot, these words are repeated. Fourth is assonance. Sword in hand, the king came in his chariot. I will hire you with. I sound is repeated. In the second and third line of this stanza, imagery. Imagery is herein. Sword in his hand, came in his chariot. Sixth is symbolism. While in the morning on the stone paved road, that is in the first line of the stanza. Second is sword in hand, that is in the second line of the stanza. Now in the second stanza of the poem, first one is alliteration. H, he waved his, am in my money. Second is repetition. Here one letter is repeated. Third is assonance. I will hire you with. I sound is repeated or one by one. Fourth is refrain. I will hire you with has been repeated throughout the poem. Fifth is imagery. Visual imagery is here. Houses stood with doors shut. I wandered along the crooked lane. That is in the first and the second line of the stanza. Sixth is symbolism. Here symbolism is present in bag of gold and midday. Now the poetic device in the third stanza. First one, repetition. In this stanza, smile word is repeated. Second is symbolism. Smile means beauty, evening means dark. Third is imagery. Visual imagery is here. Evening garden has was all a flower. Now in the fourth stanza, first one is alliteration. Made me a free man. He raised his head, wave broke waywardly. Sun glistened on the sand. All this in the first line. Second is repetition. Child word is repeated here. Imagery, visual imagery. The sun glistened on the sand and sea wave broke waywardly. A child sat playing with shell in the first and second line. Fourth is symbolism. Nothing, playing with shells. These are the symbolism. Now summary of the poem. The poem The Last Bargain has been composed by Rabindranath Tagore. In this poem, there was a daily wager who wanted to be hired. Then a king came near the daily wager with his chariot, but his power counted for naught. So he disliked his agreement. At the midday, an old man came with gold coins and said he would hire him with money, but his agreement was also denied. In the evening, a fair lady came out from the garden and said that she would hire him with a smile, but her smile could not attract the daily wager. So this was also refuted by the wager. At last, a kid playing with shells said that he would attract him with nothing, and the bet was prevailed upon the kid's conduct and innocence. So the wager accepted the agreement and became a free man. Now the NCERT question and answers. First one, who is the speaker in the poem? Answer to this question is an ordinary man looking for work. is the speaker of the poem? Second question, the king sword in suggested wealth, power, or more power than wealth. Make the appropriate item in the context of stanza 1. Answer to this question is power. Third question, the old man offered the speaker a lot of money. Why did he turn down the offer? Answer to this question is the speaker turned down the offer for a lot of money because his freedom was more important than the gleam of gold. Fourth question, find the poem lines that match the following. Read both one after another. First one, I have nothing to give you except goodwill and cheer. Answer is I hire you with nothing. Second, her happiness was no more than sorrow in disguise. Answer is her smile paled and melted into tears. Third is the king's might was not worth much. Answer to this is but his power counted for naught. Now the last and fifth question, how did the speaker feel after talking to the child on the beach? Answer to this question is the speaker felt like a free man after talking to the child on the beach. He felt happy and relieved. He need not compromise his freedom, and in return he was to get goodwill and cheer. It was a fair deal. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe the channel.